Hello and welcome to the June monthly critique for the Greater-Rochester-Camera-Club. Today is June 26, 2024. It is 7:01 p.m. Welcome everyone. We are excited to have Ben Kramer hosting our critique tonight. Yay! Quick little dry run the other night to make sure everything was working. Fingers crossed that we don't have any more glitches. But Ben was willing to jump in and help tonight, so thank you very much. Also, a huge thank you to Lisa and Deb for our outing to the Mount Auburn Cemetery, and I know Amanda was able to attend as well. Kara's outside. You look so nice outside. Hi, Kara. The trip was great. I saw lots of beautiful photos, so thank you guys for making that happen. It looks like a pretty great day weather-wise as well. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time.
Any feedback you guys want to give us? Worth going down again in the future? I don't know who else was on with that went.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great trip. It was fun. I mean, we stayed a little later, and there's no way you could explore it all in one day.
There you go. It sounds like Sarah did some exploring also down there after. Very cool. We are going to have a trip to Star Island in August. And I can't remember the date because I didn't write it down.
It's the 18th.
The 18th. And then I will get out a flyer in the next 2 or 3 weeks so you can start to plan accordingly for that.
When you go to Star Island, don't forget your camera battery.
Or your sunscreen.
Did you forget your battery one time?
I was out there once, and yes, I forgot my battery.
Oh no.
That makes it tricky.
Well, we're going down that road. Don't forget your little card for the camera, too.
Extra card, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or card, period, in the camera.
Or camera.
Or the camera.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Does anybody have any questions about the show? So drop off is Friday and Saturday. Friday between 3 and 5. Saturday between 12 and 2. Sorry about that. Your images should be ready to be hung. I know that Amanda and some of the other leadership team people kind of collaborated and created a little flyer so that you had some better understanding of what the expectations are. So that sawtooth is that little jagged hanger that kind of standard on photo frames. They do not want that. So the D rings with a string across the back is the way to go for framing and for hanging for this show. Anybody have any questions about that?
So what's the times tomorrow or Friday you can drop them off?
3 to 5.
3 to 5, okay.
And we'll have like a little handy dandy paper for you to fill out with your name and the title of your image and the cost of your image. I know that a few people already dropped off, so I'll reach out to the people who dropped off and we'll get the form filled out for you.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Bosquen until probably 4, so I don't know if I'm going to make it, but there's a Saturday drop off as well, right? Between 1 and 2 or between 12 and 2?
12 and 2.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
I do believe she's hanging them on Wednesday. Or Thursday. Not sure which one.
Excellent. So typically the show is ready to go for the 1st of July. Our opening reception is the 5th of July. And we'll probably do like a little bit of a poll to see if people are interested in going out afterwards so that we can let a local restaurant know that how many people they should expect for our after celebration. Does anybody have any questions? Yay. All right. We are going to turn it over to Ben. Ben is going to run through our critique. So just a quick reminder, the first person's image will pop up, then we'll introduce that person. That person will have 30 seconds to describe their photograph, and then we will have 4.5 minutes to give feedback and critiques on how, and Ben is sharing a very different program than Lightroom. It'll be a new experience for all of us tonight, called Doc Table.
I'm going to say a fair warning. This is not going to look like Lightroom. All right. Ready?
Okay.
All right. First up, we have
Okay, okay, there we
Michael
go.
Griffin. Michael Griffin.
Good evening.
Pretty.
It's just down to Hilton Park, the old General Sullivan Bridge. Shooting 6x6, like the sunset and the warm colors on the old bridge, lighten up all the rust.
Cool.
I think it's on the photo, but I think that was 30th of a second, handheld somewhere probably around F11.
I do like the colors of the bridge. That's nice.
Yeah, there was some storms going around, so there's a little bit of clouds in the back, but
It looks glorious.
And that you can feel the warmth of the sun.
Also, lots of squares in the uprights going up as well, and then the lattice.
yeah.
And the squares in the brick.
Rectangles are square, but yeah, same, only different, right?
Yeah.
I think by definition, no, but sure.
I like the pathway
Rectangles,
meandering.
triangles, just repeating patterns.
I like the
Yeah,
pathway
I've never-
meandering.
Up above the triangles.
I really like the way you captured the stonework. It makes it look like an ancient bridge. And I think of that as, a fairly new bridge, but it just says, I'm old.
Well,
No, it's old.
yeah,
That's rust.
yeah, that's the old one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that being said, I drive past this thing at least 10 times a week on the way to and from work, and the way you see it from the highway, you can tell that it's old and rusted, but it looks so different to this. I mean, I don't pay that much attention to it anymore because I'm so used to seeing it, but I don't know if I would have identified what bridge this was if you didn't say it. It looks weirdly beautiful from this angle.
Mm.
Like you can see the history in it.
I've never been on that side of the bridge in Hilton Park, so I'm gonna have to go down there and explore.
So I have a
It's
couple
fun.
inputs on this. First, I would love to see, this horizon line just a little flatter, a little more level. I think if you had repositioned yourself a bit closer, you probably could have cut off these branches on the side, and with the right positioning, you could completely frame up this shrub here in this glowing brick and have a really good looking alternate subject there.
Yeah, it's possible. Thanks. I purposely put the tree in on the right. I tried
sure.
it close with a wider angle to try and include all of the bridge. And it started distorting a little bit just from the wide angle, and I didn't like that appearance. So I went backwards.
The negative space in the front is nice because it pushes you past the pathway and up to the bridge, which is your subject.
What was I, within half a degree? That would have
Pretty close, yeah.
I love the path. It's like leads you right into the bridge.
I do like that crop you did. The darker part of the bridge I found just a little bit distracting.
We can put the let's see, I want third. Yeah. Because if you can get that that negative space filling that bottom third, just balance it out a little bit. It's subtle, but I think it improves it.
I think it's beautiful. I do. I love that bridge.
Are they still talking about taking it down?
Yes.
They are.
The problem is the budget they allocated is like 12 million, and the only quote they got was like 20 million.
Oh,
So I get tabled again for another couple of years.
My husband used to climb underneath there when he was young.
That was 5 minutes on that one.
Good job.
I like it.
Yeah, very nice.
I
Nice.
do like it.
I do like the
Great,
crop.
great work on the color.
Yeah.
Looks very good. All right, next up is Elaine Boyd.
Ooh,
wow.
frame it up. You go, girl. I
Yeah.
love that.
Well, I took a bunch of pictures. I mean, this is in my front yard. And it's like, well, anybody can take a picture and then crop it square. So I had to, of course, up it for myself and went and got this cheap frame, and it wasn't a square, but we made it a square, and I love it. It's like my new favorite prop now. But yeah, so those are what we call pinks.
They're
Cool.
dianthus.
Dianthus, yeah, I know they're, but we call them pinks.
Pinks and dianthus. Yep.
But no, yeah, so had a little bit of fun.
It's such a great idea. It's such so creative.
Yeah, very creative.
That is very creative.
You.
Cool.
I love the way a few of the blossoms are
Yeah.
poking out of the frame.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
If you wanted to be really persnickety, you might try to get rid of along the right border. Yeah, there, right there.
Yeah.
Maybe zap those guys out.
Just to keep it all within the frame. Yeah.
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 Well, and also they're just a little I find them just a little distracting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What if you cropped it right to the edges of the frame and had like none of the greenery around it?
It's not really that square.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know.
there's-
Take away from it.
Yeah, I like the green around it.
Yeah.
You too, though.
I thought I had the camera pretty well square on the frame. And
That's pretty square. That's pretty square.
well, I did some editing there. Played a little bit with the keystone feature there. But yeah, I do kind of like the green around it.
I do too.
Yeah.
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 But I like the suggestion of cropping out that rogue flower.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of trash in the front, just off the center on the left-hand side. You might want to clean that little rock up, just a little bit bright. See that white rock in the front?
We just made it square.
You just kind of hit it.
Wow, that was a neat little tool.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
look at that
corrected the
blob.
parallax.
Huh. I like it.
That got rid of the flowers.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Definitely gives it the 3D look.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now you're gonna have everybody running out taking pictures with frames.
No kidding.
Well, I'm gonna get little props, so it was a balancing act to get it to stay where it was. And so I was talking with my husband, we're gonna put little props in the back of it so we can prop it up and it can stand on itself. And then I think I'm gonna get a little holder so I can lift it up higher, because this was sitting right down on the ground. And
Very cool, though.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
love
the
it.
same frame you used for the bottle?
yes, it is.
Oh, okay. But I recognized it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the pattern of the darker dots in the frame too. It's like another border that draws you in. If
Look,
those
look. Oh,
weren't
sorry.
there, it'd be, I like those in it.
Hobby
It kind of
Lobby.
looks a lot like a watercolor.
Yeah, it does. No,
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby, it was $7 on sale.
Very cool.
Art
You gotta
Dump
get
has
Hobby
a-
Lobby on the right day, though, to get the half price.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I think all their frames were like 60% off, so it was like bonus.
Art Dump has a shed where you can drop things off. And now I'm gonna have to go look and see if they have any frames there.
Hey,
We're all
what's
like,
Ben
what's
doing?
Ben doing?
I know,
I
Ben,
don't
what
know.
are you doing?
Black
This
and
is
white.
just a little black and white conversion.
Yeah.
It's like he's having way too much fun with this.
It's a very
Oh,
cool
it's
photo.
neat. So what do you use for program?
Dark table.
What is it?
It's free. It's dark table,
Huh.
kind of like a light table, but dark, and it's free.
Cool.
Just for that
we don't
little...
have time for a tour of the program tonight,
No.
but I can tell you that Monique is a convert, right?
I'm interested. There's a lot of cool features. Definitely a little less user friendly than Lightroom. There's definitely it's more complex, but some sophisticated tools in there. Pretty neat.
Just squaring up
I
my
mean,
picture.
I just can't stop staring at the picture. This is wonderful. I'm enjoying
That's
this.
our 5 minutes on that one.
Awesome.
Well done.
Great job.
Yeah, very neat.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Very creative.
Very neat.
Thank you.
She's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or the frame.
Inside the frame.
Wah, wah.
All right. Next up, we have Monique.
Oh,
Oh
kitty.
my God.
I
that's
know who that is.
That's Carl. So that is not at all the photograph that I was going to use. I had something completely different in mind with the lupin with lots of water droplets, and it didn't work out. And I came across this, and I'm like, hey, I bet I could make him pretty square. And so I did. I know his nose is not sharp, but again, I didn't shoot him for this, but it did work out pretty symmetrical.
Yeah,
Oh, but his...
Looks like eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the nose has to be sharp.
Yeah.
And
I'm drawn into the eyes.
Yep, you're going to the eyes.
Big
Good.
time.
I think if he had a sharp nose, he'd be a possum and not a cat, right?
He was pretty close when I took the photograph. There wasn't a whole lot of cropping.
Something I'm noticing is that as I'm looking at the eyes are great, but I'm going back and forth between the two a long ways, and I kind of wish this was not cropped in quite so tight.
Okay.
It's hard to see it as a single face, I guess, because the eyes are so far apart in the frame. But that's just me.
I don't think it's meant to be a driver's license photo, but it's the eyes are what draw me in on this.
I agree with Reed. The eyes are very captivating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're captivating.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
He hates the camera. He hates the phone. Like, he pushes it away. So the fact that this is probably his annoyed look.
What is your light for this?
Just natural light.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm not on my computer. I can't look. I'm not sure. There's a chance that I could have been. Yeah. So
I think I'm seeing a window.
Yep.
That's cool.
Can you get the reflection there in the eye?
So it's got to be a window in the back. Yeah.
I think he has cataracts.
I hope not. He's only a baby. Look at all his dirty eyes. Oh man, I thought I cleaned his eyes pretty decent.
Got a drinking problem.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I think it's very cool.
And the whiskers lead you in from the bottom into the picture.
And the
That's
chin. It looks like an old man chin.
He's a good little
And the
guy.
nose isn't perfectly sharp, but the whiskers and most of the strands of fur are.
Yes.
Just the tip of the nose.
I'm not sure what my aperture was on that.
Again, kind of works because when a cat is really that close to your face, the nose is not usually in focus. This is kind of similar to the view I have every night when I'm trying to fall asleep. So
That's how a
So
mouse
this is-
feels just before he's bitten.
There you go.
This is
Okay,
with
F11 was
yeah.
pretty. Yep, that's pretty.
Yeah, f11 with a macro lens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if I can shut the flash fire. So.
Okay.
Definitely some dirt around his eye that could be cleaned up.
And maybe just the one random hair on his left eye, but when we're looking at it, it's on the right. There's one white
Oh,
hair.
I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
That's because the eyes are such the draw. My eyes do keep going to that because it's out of place because it's the only one that's like that.
Yep.
We're talking about this one?
Yeah, definitely could clean up.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. I'm noticing that the whiskers are very in focus, but the nose isn't. And I'm wondering if the nose being out of focus is perhaps because of some motion.
He was moving towards me.
There you have it.
I think you're lucky to have gotten his eyes in focus like that with a cat, because they're not gonna, usually don't sit there too long.
So thank you guys for the feedback.
This is one of those pictures that you wouldn't want really hanging in your house, only because you'd be getting stared at no matter where you were.
It is a little freaky. I agree. It's definitely freaky.
See, and I was thinking I'd blow it up to poster size and hang it right in my entryway.
Yeah.
Kind of like
that
black
was
and white makes it look even more scary. It is.
that was on 15 minutes. I mean 5 minutes. Sorry. No, I'm just
What do you
saying.
get 15 because she's the president?
I just got a text message. Is there any way you can bump my picture up so I gotta head out for a few minutes? So somebody's gotta take over timing for me. Everything's good. Everything's good. Don't
Lisa?
No panic. Yep, no panic, Monique. I see the look on your face.
All right.
I'm okay now. No good. Nope.
Nope, it's, I need to go take care of something tonight, and she just
Okay.
texted me and said she's. So
I'll
I
do
don't know
time
who
if
wants
you
to
want.
take over timing.
I'll do time if you want.
Okay, thanks, Scott. If I'm not gone long, I'll jump back on when I get back.
We'll jump in now, though, Lisa, to get your feedback.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta figure out where I'm at here. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So let me start me. Okay. This was taken at Piers Park in East Boston. My first trip down there, I went on a Hunt's photo walk. Absolutely gorgeous park in Boston. I saw her sitting there deep in thought, and I love the picture. I love the glow. The sun was setting, so the light was shining on it. And I really am kicking myself for not going up and getting her name and an email address so I could send her this picture. I just fell in love with it when I took it.
That's 30.
It's stunning.
Look at the light on the buildings.
Yeah, that's a spectacular photo.
I love it. My only thing would be that one little leaf on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Oh, didn't even see
Yeah.
that.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, leaf gone. Yeah, it was, I said she was just in deep thought, and I said I was not interrupting her. But
And you got
Yeah,
both
Light
children.
bouncing off of that,
what, Monique?
the light bouncing off the ceiling and coming back down on her like it's a still light is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There were 9 of us down there, and I'm the only one that caught this. And I wasn't telling anybody it was there. This was mine.
The brickwork is awesome.
I have a couple of little nitpicks.
Yep.
It looks like you brightened the shadows on the backside of this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't-
Maybe you didn't. Could just be me. There's definitely some edge artifacting
Okay,
happening up
yep.
here, and that could be from sharpening or from some other process. And I think the only other little distraction is this bright area.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Tone that down a little bit. I think that was another pier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I hit it.
Linear gradient or radial gradient would fix that real fast for you.
And I'm
Yeah,
making
gorgeous.
notes so I don't forget this.
All I can say is, wow,
Yeah. Spectacular.
wow, just unbelievable.
My
It
first
looks like
thought-
a painting
Yeah,
and not
my,
a picture.
my first thought was, where did you put the strobe?
Yeah.
Right?
It was, I'll tell you, the
Yeah.
light was just,
Yeah.
yeah, it was perfect.
It's a solar strobe.
Also, maybe if you're going to get rid of those 2 small things on the upright part of that, whatever it is, the black triangle right there, I'd maybe
Oh, yep.
the light. just because it cuts off that beautiful.
Yeah.
And maybe the dinghy that's like right on the rail.
Yeah.
Off
Because
to the right. There you go.
Oh, the guy in the dinghy?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice him. Huh.
That's how it was that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, if you've never been to this Piers Park in East Boston, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, it's okay. That. You're
All right,
welcome.
yeah, I didn't even see the little guy in the dinghy. He's awful little. Okay.
That light is just.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what caught me when I saw this, and what caught me was the light on her hair. And
Yeah.
how her hair was just glowing. The way it was
Looks like
hitting.
she has red hair, huh?
Yeah, but that's what caught my eye was her hair.
Would a little bit of a vignette bring you in even more, or would it darken the sky too much?
It does have a little bit of a vignette in it. I always put a little bit on all my pictures, but it could be darker. Yep, I could add. I always put at least some on it. Okay. Got all my little notes. Are you adding more, Ben?
Taking some away.
Oh, taking some away.
Yeah, too much is too noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want just enough to draw the eye away from it, and then, but not, be a noticeable thing.
I think it's wicked awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
beautiful. It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah,
Thank you.
nicely done, Lisa.
Thank you very much. And I am definitely out of time.
That is
No.
5 minutes.
Safe journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the pointers. I will work on it later. If I get back from my little errand, I will jump back on, but otherwise, thank you guys very much.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Spot, you got time, right?
Yep.
Alrighty then. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
All right, how do I leave? Right there, leave. Okay.
All right. Next up is myself.
Who's gonna critique you?
I can tell you that this was all done last night.
It didn't pop up yet.
This
though.
is
yeah,
We
we're
don't
not
see
seeing
it
it yet.
you're not seeing it.
Nope.
Nope.
We still see Lisa's picture.
Okay, let me reset the screen sharing.
There we go.
I love it.
And this actually is not the right edit, because that's not supposed to be on. Yeah. This is about my entire evening last night. The only edits, this is JPEG out of camera with spot removal.
It's squares upon squares upon squares upon squares upon squares.
With
Except for
one
when it's
circle.
not.
It's one circle.
And the circle of no.
I don't know. I think the cereal might be rectangles.
A rectangle is a square. I looked up the definition. So a rectangle can be a square. by
I
some
think it's the other way
definition.
around. I think a square can be a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Correct.
I don't know. Geometry was never my strong point. Either way, it's a cool picture, Ben.
You can imagine my disappointment when I brought home a box of checks and discovered that they weren't in fact square like I remembered them to be.
We can hear the sorrow in your voice.
What is on the spoon or the spatula or whatever?
Cheerio.
Cheerio. No, it looks like
Fruit
a
Loop.
Fruit
Fruit
Loop.
Loop.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it was a sushi roll.
It looks like a scrambled egg.
Me too.
Not
That's
scrambled,
cool.
but
So how are you floating your cereal?
I don't know if I should keep that a secret or not.
Oh, well, okay, you can keep it a secret. That's okay.
is it Elmer's glue?
No,
Is the cereal in milk or is it
it is cereal.
white
It is in
thing.
milk,
okay?
and it is a
I
bowl.
would I would bet that you have like styrofoam at the bottom and toothpicks coming out from the bottom and then holding the cereal. That's my guess.
That's not what I did, but that would probably work.
Yogurt is technically milk, so it could be evenly spread yogurt in there also.
Ooh.
Where did you get that square spoon, or did you make that?
Power tools.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
And it's not nearly as nicely made as I would have liked it to be.
Wow.
Very cool though.
I really love the one Fruit Loop in there, which I'm sure that's why you did it. You know, everything's all square, but even the spoon, but then you get that renegade Fruit Loop.
Life is always got a Fruit Loop.
And it's
I'm assuming
positioned
that the milk was
perfectly.
also round on purpose.
It's positioned perfectly, and you chose the color. I'm imagining all the other colors of Fruit Loops you could have used, and I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
And the
The other
lighting
edit.
is nice.
So fun.
Yeah, I like the color better.
I like color.
Yeah.
Rattler.
Definitely.
Yep.
Do you lose the Fruit Loop in the black and white?
Leave that exposure on.
How long did it
Yeah.
take you, Ben?
Right.
I think it was about an hour and a half of actual
Setup.
staging and shooting, and the rest of my entire evening was setting up the thing that holds the cereal in place and trying to make a spoon square as much as possible.
The only, okay, this is really nitpicky. I see parallel shadows, very, very, very faint, and I only saw it after looking at this for, 3 minutes. Parallel shadows in the milk or whatever it is that's supporting the cereal from whatever your light source is.
Parallel shadows.
Just to the left, and or it could be an optical illusion, but it looks like there's a very light shadow on immediately to the left and right of the spoon.
Yeah. There's some
To the
white,
left
looks
and
like a
right of
white
the
liner around it.
You talking about this right here?
No, go up the shaft of the spoon.
I see it now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just ever so faint.
Yeah. I have a question, Ben. What was your main, what started you off on this? Was it the plate and you built around the plate? Was it the checks and you built around that? Was it the tablecloth?
Let me see what I made notes for. Go away zoom. It was primarily, I think, around the cereal.
Cool.
My browser doesn't
Smart.
want to work right at the moment.
Cool.
But
That's 5 minutes.
That's really creative, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
The trick was getting it that correct in camera without doing a bunch of editing.
Yeah.
And I actually got my crop just a little bit off. But next up is Jim Kender.
Right.
Ooh,
Oh.
very pretty.
So
That
I
is
did this
gorgeous.
the morning after our in-person meeting last week or 2 weeks ago. So this is the Cliff House in Cape Nettic, Maine. It was like, right around 4:15 in the morning. I was hoping that the tide was coming in. I was hoping to get the sun in a position where it was going to highlight the bricks, the cliff on the left-hand side. But I was more fascinated with being able to get the highlights of the sun on the bricks right in front of me and to the right. But I played around a lot with some exposure adjusting and some dehazing. I'm still learning Lightroom, so I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, adjusting different highlights, playing with the sky, because there was, the clouds were in my favor as well, I thought so. But this was my my attempt at submitting something.
I
Cool.
think it's
Very
better.
nice.
I think it's beautiful.
Yep.
It's a wall
Thank you.
hanger.
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for sunrises and sunsets, but this is stunning. I love the wet rocks in front of you, the horizon, just how everything is kind of closing in on the water there. I
Yeah,
made note of where you were.
the lines of the rock are leading you out to the sunrise and all.
Right.
So it's nice leading lines there, as well as the layers in the rock on the right side as well, all pointing that way.
Yeah, and the sun hit it all.
I had full aperture. I was at f22. I think there was like a 0.4 second shot. I just wanted the water just to be a little bit still.
Silky.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what your shutter speed was.
Yeah, I took hundreds that day, and I chose this one, and this one happened to be at f22. I don't know if that's the right thing I should have done, or.
It looks like you do have some dust up in the sky there, or
Yeah.
a few spots there.
Yeah, and I thought that was my monitor, but I think it's my sensor. I think I need a cleaning.
Yeah, that's going to be your sensor.
Yep.
That I think is actually a cloud, but yeah, these are sensor spots.
I need cleaning.
Yeah, and F22 is really going to bring those out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My only, I would say you're getting, I think, a little close to being blown out with some of this in your edit. So be careful of that.
Okay.
One of my pet peeves is a horizon that's not
I didn't do it straight enough.
aligned, but
oh yeah, much better. That was my fault.
Trying to decide if it's worth getting the sun on a third or maybe even centered.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than I could do, Jim.
Thanks, Beth.
Very nice, Jim. Very nice.
Thanks,
Lovely.
Reed.
Jim, one tip, just in case you weren't aware, since you said you're still learning Lightroom.
Yes.
If you go into the tool where you can clone or do spot removal, there's a little box that says show visualize spots. That's the one. And if you click on that, it will turn your image basically to like a black and white graphic, and you'll be able to pick out the white spots. So when you're dealing with an issue, like if you happen to notice a little bit of dust and you're not sure if what you're looking at is the only one, and if there's some that are really small and hard for you to see, that can help you pick them out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Amanda. I'll take a look at that.
You're welcome.
So it's very therapeutic. Thank you, guys.
That's 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can kind of hear the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stare at
definitely.
one another.
Awesome. Yep.
I feel the warmth of the sun. That would make a great metal print.
You
Yeah,
can try for me snoring at that time of the morning, but
All right. Next up is Robin Barber.
cool.
Ooh, very pretty.
I guess I have to unmute myself. So I'm not sure, like I was struggling with what exactly make it square was. I wasn't sure if everything had to be square without cropping. But once I took this picture and came home, I'm like, there's kind of a lot of squares in there. So I'm going to hope that this goes with what the theme is. And so I submitted it. But this was taken up at Wells Beach. It's actually standing in the parking lot looking at the backside of it.
That is pretty.
Thank you.
That's a nice capture.
I like how the dunes draw you right into that boat, right into the beach and then right into the boat.
Yep. And they're really rounded, which kind of is contrary to the square.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's nice.
And you know, fun. It's for me. Like sometimes something catches my eye and I have to take a picture of it, and then when I come home and I'm looking at it, that's when I start to see what caught my eye. So it's kind of funny. I don't actually see it when I'm doing it, but I'm like, yeah, I think I like this.
Cool.
So I think this mast is just a little distracting being so close to the edge. And the other thing I'm noticing is it seems like there's a haze here. I don't know if we can deal with that or not. But first, I kind of want to bring this down a little bit.
So I wasn't sure about the
And
crop
center
because it
that
said
boat.
1-to-1 crop. So like because I'm all new to all this, I'm like, I don't want to crop it too much because I don't want to go past 1-to-1. So if somebody can explain that 1-to-1 crop at some point, I would love that.
It just means it's
So-
square.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the ratio, 1 length to 1 width.
You could go as small as you wanted, and that just means that the length and the width is the same.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking I couldn't crop it down any further.
Ooh.
I think for me, when I think about making something square, I often think symmetry as well. And so that curve at the bottom of your image, where it draws you right in, I think that is where your square format really works. And then the boat is really centered into your image as well. And I think that helps with the square.
That's nice. It added a lot of pop to it right there.
And you'll learn more and more about editing as you watch, like some of the critiques of just some small adjustments can make a big impact.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost what Ben's doing now, but
Yeah, so I mean, the initial one is obviously a crop, just to get that mast out of there because it is a big object on the very far side, so it does draw the eyes. So getting rid of that and getting your boat just a little more centered is the start. And the other thing here is just a haze removal tool.
okay.
It just works on algorithms to get rid of or improve at least atmospheric haze. Although
that would be right under dehaze. That's what it would be called there.
that there's a weird bit of artifacting happening up here that I don't know the source of.
And I've got like some kind of haze on the trees that's not going away either.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with it. Yeah, that's not from the haze removal or the crop. I'm not sure what's causing this artifacting.
Could be heat, just heat waves.
I think that maybe it was because it was a pretty hot day that day.
I don't know. It's very well defined. It could be a heat wave, but I'm wondering if there was a mask. Yeah, did you do something to bring out the sky more?
I only did in Lightroom. I did selected the sky and added the contrast and.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's happening. So what you can see, this is a very defined line. And you can especially see this artifacting on the edges of the trees. That's from the automatic selection masking not being super great at it. So
And then you
that
can also see
is
it in that, you can see it right there in that mast.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
So
almost makes you think there's a mountain behind it.
Yeah. So when you're messing with those tools, it's important to be paying attention to the details. Doing too much sharpening can cause artifacts. Masking that's not tweaked right can cause problems. But yeah, that's what's going on there.
That's 5 minutes.
Cool. Nice
Well,
job.
thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
nice
Thank
job,
you.
Robin.
That was
I
great.
like
Thank
it.
you.
Good one.
Mhm. Okay, next up is Deb.
Oh, Deb. Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
So
Oh,
I
that's
was-
really cool.
this particular lupin caught my eye because I don't think I've ever seen that color scheme before up in Sugar Hill. And then the bee started coming around. So then I started chasing the bee and it was trying to adjust to try to catch him. And so I call this chasing the bee.
The bee looks like he's got red jogging shorts on.
He's got that's a pollen ball.
Oh, wow.
Yep, you saw a lot of them with the pollen balls. Some of them were big.
Huge.
They were huge. It's like, oh my gosh, why is that not pulling you down? But no, that's what that is. It's a pollen ball.
Oh, I tried to make it up to Sugar Hill this year and I didn't. Next year, damn it, next year.
I love the colors.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
Sharp too.
Yeah.
There's
that.
something about the color of that lupin that I think I spent probably close to 30 minutes working with it. And I really like the vines that just came up through there. And at first I was like, get out of my photo. And it's like, I gotta add something to it, I guess. I don't know.
Look at the pollen on the leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I can't decide if that's distracting or not. It's a nice detail.
I think it's
Mhm.
nature.
Yeah.
But don't we all improve nature a little bit?
Deb,
This
what was your
first little speck is a noticeable one, but that's
Okay, Ben, I'll take it out.
your choice, of course, is whether or not to remove it. Personally, I like to leave
No,
as
I
much
actually, I
natural detail
would.
in.
Usually I'm very anal about that. But, and you're right, with that orange, with the orangey on the leaves,
Pollen.
I thought about taking it out and then I thought, I'm just gonna leave that because it really was. The pollen was everywhere. It was one of those bad
Yeah.
pollen weekends.
There are details that are interesting and there's details that are distracting.
Right, absolutely.
That's interesting.
What was your shutter speed?
I think it was 1/400th of a second, but I actually cranked up my ISO to 1000 because I was trying to think real quick, okay, how am I gonna get this bee while he's moving around? Yeah, I did. I did the ISO 1000, 1/400, and I did it on an f8. And I was trying to move my tripod around too, so it was a lot of
It was worth
Yeah.
it.
quick thinking.
It was worth it, Deb.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. Oh,
It doesn't look
Splendid.
noisy.
Little bit of bokeh in it.
I like
Yeah,
the
there's a lot.
yeah, I like the lupins in the background.
Yeah, the lupins were really pretty this year up in Sugar Hill. Some of the fields were mowed, but most of them were still intact.
Yeah, was it on the news that some people mowed their lupin fields because people were coming into private property?
Yep,
Or
they
somebody said
actually
it.
did.
Yeah.
There were 2 big fields that were mowed.
No respect.
Nope.
Unfortunately not, but this was down at Pearl Lake. So I was glad to see they hadn't mowed those.
The more I look at that vine, the more I like it. I just that diagonal element opposite the
Mhm.
bee just makes me feel good to look at it.
I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but the more I looked at it, I was like, it's kind of got a little different spin on it.
It's a twist. A little twist. I think it's awesome because that's how it was. That's how you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't remove it. You left it.
I think I still have some more bee photos to go through. I just haven't had time lately to.
If you look at the yellow in the bee, it's actually the same color as the yellow.
In the lupin.
And the lupin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hadn't noticed that. That's funny.
And then the pollen on the leg is the same as the pollen on that one
On
leaf.
that, on that one leaf, yep.
Yeah.
And the
I don't
wings
think-
of the bee are just blurry enough that, you know, I like that blur on the wings.
Great texture.
It's 5 minutes.
I
I
love
don't
it.
think, I don't think you can take a bad picture of a lupin.
Hang it, hang it.
Nice, Deb.
Was that a challenge?
I've
Bet
gotten
you
some pretty
can.
sucky ones.
Well, let me just say,
Yeah.
500 photos that day. There wasn't a whole lot that it was windy. So that
Oh.
was the other issue that we were dealing with up there. It was the wind. It was relentless.
Hmm.
All right. Next up is Bob Levine. No, that's not Bob Levine.
No,
Going
that's-
with Amanda.
Hey,
Jules Marco.
I was gonna say that's gonna be someone from Saturday. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Beautiful.
it is, and I did already have some photos that I had edited previously before the cemetery trip that were square, but I was kind of hoping to do sort of a shape within the square shape instead of just like, oh, here's a picture of a goose and it's square. Because that's what I did last time we did this challenge. It was a squirrel, which is great, but doesn't, you know, it's a squirrel. So I really liked the sort of snail shell shape of this in the square crop. So that's why I went with this one.
Nice. And that's is that a black and white or a bleach bypass or what's the color processing in that?
No, black and white. I actually shot probably 85% of the ridiculous amount of photos that I shot on Saturday at the cemetery in black and white because cemeteries just
It's black and
scream
white.
black
You
and
bring out the
black and
black
white
and white.
photography.
Yep.
Yep. So unless there was something that had a lot of like interesting green moss or like a color scheme or stained glass or something like that, most of the stuff that was just your standard sort of gray tombstone, I shot in black and white.
Yeah, the only thing I might have closed up that light hole up at the top left, but other than that, it's great.
Mhm.
And even that's fine. It's just
No, now that you
Kind
mentioned
of
it, dry kind of goes
something
there.
white on the left side, maybe
Mhm.
7 o'clock, maybe 8
Yep.
o'clock. Might be like a tag.
This photo is not square.
Well, you can blame
Disqualified.
Lightroom for that.
So that's interesting because Deb felt that her picture was square, she did it in Lightroom as well.
Yeah, Lightroom told me it was square, so
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well,
I
I-
can-
we've already established. We've already established I'm not good at geometry.
Huh.
So
Dark
I'm just
table
cutting this
beats
in on the
Lightroom.
side.
Well, click on that again. What were your dimensions on that again? When your
All
numbers
right,
came
so
up.
right now I'm on freehand because it's
Okay,
not
got it.
square. So if I hit square 1.1, you can see if I line this up to this top corner,
Yeah.
we've got a significant amount down there. But what happens if we center this on your coil there? And just go like that a little bit, cutting off the bottom. It's not a huge difference.
You know,
And
all
yeah,
I
there's-
want to say is a round hole and a square peg. It's the opposite. Sorry, Amanda, that's what I was thinking of, but reversing it.
This leaf has been there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought about trying to get rid of that, but I didn't know if I could effectively do it where it's over lettering and also yeah, it's kind of part of the stone at this point. So I sort of just left
Yeah.
it for authenticity, but it is a little distracting.
I think it's lovely.
Yep, very cool.
if it's not quite square, this would be one of those ones that you could take into Photoshop and do that generative, whatever it is.
Generative
Oh,
fill.
yeah.
Phil, that's what I was
And
thinking
just,
of.
Bob
just add
Levin
just a
taught
little
us
bit to the
that.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do
There
it
we
with
go.
a
That's
little light
like it.
bulb.
I like the different shades of the shell, you know, from the top down to the bottom and in between. Some
Gives
of the
it texture.
brightness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started adjusting the clarity and texture settings a little bit, that really started to come out, and I really liked that. I had to remind myself not to overdo it, because I actually got pretty excited once the texture of the stone started to come out, because originally that wasn't as visible, and the color differences weren't as visible, but I think I landed it in a good spot.
Yeah, I think you did a good job on it.
Definitely.
And
Did you?
that's 5 minutes.
I love it.
Great
I
one.
do too.
Yeah, very nice, Amanda.
Well, no, Amanda, you seem to have a theme. You like a cemetery.
Oh, I see.
That I do.
All right. Next up should be Bob Levine.
Ooh,
Where that is.
yeah.
So I had two things going on. I just had gotten a new camera, so I was out just testing different things. And I'm thinking Chikora for this assignment, because we're so much you see that in the wide angle shot panoramic. And I wanted to see if I could pull off something that looked good with it being square.
I think you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Would it have? I'm looking at the bottom. It looks like the posts are right in the water, and we know they're not. But I'm wondering if maybe if you were able to take less down from the sky and maybe add part of the bridge on the bottom so it doesn't look like the posts are in the water, or if that was probably your intention. And
Yeah, I had part of the bridge and it just was distracting
gotcha.
because it was just the sliver of
Mhm.
it. And I went back and forth with the crop, and my original crop was to take the right-hand side of that center post was more in the middle.
Mhm.
And then I decided that was just too balanced. I felt this one created a little more tension with it being not in the middle, not equal on each side.
Yeah, my input would have been to get these balanced, the two posts.
Mhm.
If you had shifted your perspective to be more in center with that, then you probably could have gotten this less visible, or at least balanced with the same element that's likely behind this post.
It was more
you could have
intentional
kept a lot of the top,
not to
but
have
yeah.
it balanced. It was more to
Yeah.
create that tension there.
I'm glad you left the sky.
The clouds are really pretty.
Yes.
Yep,
They're
that was this
beautiful.
afternoon. Or yeah.
I'm enjoying the graffiti all over the post.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
They've destroyed that.
There you are, looking at the modern kid crap and then the beauty in the background.
Yeah.
We've got some shadow on the mountains going on there. This edge is weirdly stark and maybe a little distracting. But it's natural, but it almost looks like it might not be.
Yeah. No, that would be natural.
There's lots to look at. I definitely find myself moving around a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking everywhere on it. I
Did
love
you
it.
try it in black and white, Bob?
I didn't convert.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Out of all the mountains in New Hampshire, I think Mount Shikara is my favorite mountain.
Same.
No, I spent a lot of time on Mount Washington. Hiking up, hiking down.
Yeah, I think
I'll be
always
back
it's a
there in
little
August.
better. It's just sometimes all the clouds like that are so dramatic sometimes in black and white, but I like the color better.
Mhm.
But the clouds look really cool in that. Nice.
That is 5 minutes.
That's really nice, Bob.
Thank you.
Nice
Awesome.
picture.
Hang it, put it on the wall. Ooh,
Ooh,
Oh,
Rewind.
the only thing we're missing is a wine glass.
yeah.
That's
It's the
neat.
keys.
Do we know who this is?
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh,
This
okay.
is Grapes by Tom or Bonnie Dubois. I don't know which one took this.
Is she on tonight?
Oh,
Sounds like
Bonnie
no.
is not on, no. Is she related to you, Beth?
no,
Well, I guess we can just chit chat about the picture. She can watch the recording.
I'm gonna reach out and need one.
I wonder where it was taken.
I know they've done some recent traveling, so I'm wondering if it was on one of, oh, you know what? I think she was in a vineyard on her recent trip. She was talking about it.
It feels a little chaotic to me.
Well, that leaf with all the little holes in it from the bugs, that draws my attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a way to pick it or
Pick the leaf.
hold it out of the way.
Ben, pick that leaf.
No.
The part I really like is the on the top left third, those grapes. It takes, there was a grape arbor at my parents' house when I was growing up, and I know what those grapes feel like. But yeah, so that really grabs me. But yeah, the varied, the things out of focus are distracting, and
What if they had just focused on that clump there, you know,
I was-
brought the crop, the
Oh,
crop.
look at that.
I was thinking that exact same thing, Deb. Can we do the square crop around that one bundle of a bunch of
grapes.
grapes?
Box the grapes.
Yeah, because I think it would get rid of the chaos feeling of it and that ugly leaf that was bug bitten. I'm
I
assuming.
can really see the holes in the leaf.
Yeah, I think going to black and white and getting it right so that you have your highlights on the grapes gives those a much more dramatic pull. And it also hides some of the color contrast between the leaf and whatever's on it. But because it's all the same color, it's hard to do any real separation in black and white.
But if you crop in just on, I'm pointing and nobody can see me pointing.
Yeah.
Just on that one cluster, you know,
the great
because everything else, I think
Yes.
rounds it
Yes.
really nicely.
Let's
Would have made a
go.
great infrared
I
photo
don't
with all
know
the
if it
brightness
can,
and everything.
Right there.
Oh, I like that much better.
yeah, so do I.
It's in your face. It looks like marbles. I like it better in color.
I do like it
Oh, I
better in
like it
color.
better in color too.
The
You
only
know,
thing
I like that leaf on the top right corner that's out of focus because now it just
Yeah.
draws you in versus being a distraction. And then
Right.
you've got those little tentacle things or wherever they are on the bottom left that also helps kind of keep you in.
Yeah, those are wine eggs.
Wine egg.
Oh,
Yeah, we're just,
excellent wine egg.
yeah,
Love
we're
it.
just waiting them for the hatch.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I like this crop better. And I
I do
don't
too.
know if a slight vignette would help a little bit. I don't know. You know,
I
but
like
I
that.
like that.
I like that crop too. It doesn't look as chaotic.
Well, the leaves also frame the grapes and the little vines that, you know, from the grape, the little
Vine.
vines. Yeah,
The tentacles,
yeah, whatever they're called.
That looks cool.
they're feelers.
Yeah.
thinking they were little baby straws so that you could sip the grapes. I think Ben's having way too much fun with this program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got a
this
new
one,
toy.
Ben was a great choice for this role.
I've been using this
Yeah.
program for years. There's a lot of stuff I don't know about it.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like you're new to the software.
No,
That's 5 minutes.
Good
Yeah, that's a
job.
neat crop though, Bon. Nice
I like
job
that.
on it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, should have Deb Manning.
Oh, Deb.
Ooh.
Real nice.
And yes, Deb, it's definitely not square. But tell us about your photo.
well, after having the meeting was last Wednesday, a week ago, because I've been in a real bad slump, which everybody knows, because I keep telling everybody that. And I was walking around my yard and I threw the macro lens on, and there was a butterfly. There's more flowers than this. But there was a butterfly, and when I walked up, went to take his picture, he flew off. But I said, okay. So this was one of the clumps, and I know you're supposed to do like 3, but I just like the color of this flower. And this one was just one off a big clump. But that's my story. So I decided that I would start taking pictures of the weeds in my yard because I haven't mowed my lawn at all because I don't have a lawnmower. So, but I don't know if my husband threw these seeds out or what. I don't even know what kind of flower it is, but the butterflies like it. So that's how I came. And then this was a larger picture and I actually cropped it in a lot. So, and then I didn't do much. I added the vignette. I took some white out I actually got to do it on Lightroom. I figured out how to eliminate some white that was in the background.
Yay.
But I wanted the focus to be on the flowers and not that white spot. But this was done with the macro.
I believe this is the same type of flower that we saw earlier. The pinks.
dianthus or pinks. Yep.
Yep. Dianthus,
Dianthus.
also known as pinks.
No,
to
also
me.
known as pinks. I know them as pinks too, Elaine. You
Look, it's square.
know? Ooh, it's perfect square.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
So
lovely.
yeah, let's start there.
Well, I tried to get it in a square.
It brings them out a lot more.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, Deb, that's nice.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't do, it was mostly cropping and taking out a white, a place that, I don't know if it was a stem or what, but it was white. It was driving me crazy. And finally figured out how to do that a little bit. And didn't really touch the color. I was lucky that the background went out the way it did. And like I said, there is a vignette on it because I wanted to focus on the flowers.
Let's recreate that vignette since I'm pretty sure we just cropped it out. Let's see, let's set that up there.
Wasn't it you, Ben, that or Scott that said that they like vignettes? I remember that being said at one of these. I don't know. I could be wrong. I know somebody in the club said that they like the vignette, and I usually put a vignette a little bit on my pictures.
Oh my
Was
God.
this natural light?
Yep. I think it was taken around noontime. It was really bright out.
That's
Yeah,
a
there's
cherry
definitely
picture.
some sharp shadows going on, which is not a problem. You see the definite shadow there from the edges. Yeah, it's nice and sharp. You might have a sensor spot there.
I didn't clean
This-
the lens, so I think that's where I was taking that white out.
It's minor, but this background color up here might be something fixable.
That's where I was trying to clone, and that's what it was, and it wasn't coming out right.
Okay. Yeah, cloning can be tough.
Yeah.
This
I
little
was
bit of
doing the
color down
best-
here.
Yeah, I was
Go
doing
ahead.
the best I could.
Yeah.
I love it, but they're one of my favorite flowers. But
What
if you
what
ever
is it?
see them and smell them, oh, they smell wonderful.
What is it?
It's a dianthus.
Oh. Do they
Something, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, is it seeds? Because like I said, my husband used to throw out seeds. He buys seeds and just throw them out. I have tons of foxglove this year, which we've always had foxgloves, but the foxgloves are just unbelievable right now.
That is
Something you
5
can-
minutes.
Very cheery
Good
picture.
job, Deb.
Yeah,
Nice.
good job.
Yeah, nice job.
Nice.
Very nice.
Real quick, something you can do potentially to if you're having trouble getting rid of stuff like this, you can try doing a mask with a bit of desaturation
Okay.
to lessen it, but you have to be careful, otherwise it can become really noticeable. All right, next up, Beth.
Ah,
Oh,
so this was taken at my house. Don't ask me what my shutter speed was or anything. I don't remember, but I made it square.
Well, we know now. It's
keep it brief, Beth.
oh, you're
1/100th.
You got them sitting and just resting.
Yeah, they do that a lot. I have 4 feeders and they chatter back and forth, but I have Christmas lights that hang and they sit on the Christmas lights and they buzz our heads, don't they, Bridget?
Yes, they do.
God. I had one sit beside me, but anyway.
Nice.
I think I only ever see them when they're buzzing by my head at 100 miles an hour. I didn't even know they could sit. I've never
Yeah,
seen
I
this
didn't know they could
before.
sit either.
Yeah, I've got some outside my window in one of my gardens. They'll just sit out here for a bit and then they'll buzz off.
Looks like he's perched perfectly on that leaf.
Yep.
This is one of those ones, I guess, would a vignette work on this? Because it would draw you into him.
Do your magic, Ben.
Yeah, I think it will.
So Deb, you were asking about the vignette, and so like Scott just explained, like that vignette just helps draw your eye into the center, and to just dims it down a little bit around the edge to give you some more focus.
That's better.
What about cropping it up a little bit more so it brings more attention into the hummingbird?
And when you crop it, he doesn't necessarily have to be in the center either.
Right.
Sure.
Yes, that,
Ooh.
yes,
Ooh.
yes.
Oh, there.
And then redo the vignette.
There's something really with that cropping. There's something really appealing about the lineup of the three leaves. The birds on one, and then to its left, there's two more, and that there we got our little threes there, and
There's two more
they're
behind it.
all in the same plane.
Well, I like how that leaf on top is pointing down at him too.
So this is actually a ruby-throated, but you can't see it until he lifts his chin up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta get the lighting just right to get the red to pop.
It's a pretty neat crop of it, though.
Yeah.
It is. That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Something like that, you always want him looking into it also. If he was looking the other way, you know, if he was looking out of the frame in that position, it wouldn't be as impactful.
Yep.
What if you reversed it on that crop?
I mean, flipped it.
Yeah,
Flip the
yeah.
pit-
I was thinking the same thing.
Nope.
You gotta move the
Doesn't work.
crop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
I like him the other way better.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, actually I
Yeah.
do too.
Always worth a look.
Yep.
Yeah, this I think works better because you get your leading focus coming right down to the bird.
Yep.
That whole line right there of the branch and the focus leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Focus could have been just a little bit better on the bird, but hummingbirds are notoriously in motion, so
Yeah, they're not too cooperative like butterflies.
Mhm.
I beg to differ.
I don't think butterflies are very cooperative either.
No.
How big is that file size? Because sometimes if you don't save it large enough, you're going to get that distortion also.
yeah, this is a small one. It's 3,700 by 2,700 by 2,700, but I think this is probably a fairly compressed JPEG. It's only 680K. No, sorry, wrong photo. This is 3.7 meg.
Okay.
But we don't see anything right now.
Hello. There we go.
Where about?
That only means so much.
That's all over my head, but that's okay.
That's 5 minutes.
That was great,
Yeah,
Beth.
That's
Nice.
great.
Thank you.
Nice, Beth.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Dan Comley.
And
Ooh.
I was hoping you would put one of these in. That's
Oh.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Pretty.
Carner Blues at the easement near the airport in Concord.
You lost it. Lost the picture.
Yep.
One moment.
Reed, you're a butterfly.
Thank you very much. I think you're cute too.
How about now?
Nope.
Nope.
It
Nope.
came on for a quick second. Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, turns out if I move my cursor off the screen, it goes away.
Okay,
How
so
silly.
I was specifically composing in the camera with the square crop in mind, because I usually think, in the classic horizontal rectangle. 200 to 70, 70 to 200 zoom at 200 millimeters with a 13 millimeter extension tube, f8 at a 1600th of a second. I cranked up topaz to get as much as possible. These the butterflies have, once they get used to you, they tolerate you very nicely, but they're still incredibly hard to zero in on. So if you zoom in on that, you're probably going to see a lot of artifacts around the details. I'd like it better. The wing to the rear of the butterfly is too bright. The light was coming in from my right. These are all the things. I was so thrilled to have the butterfly, to have it, easily accessible to me. It was tolerating my presence, and I thought I was getting these beautifully arranged and framed and composed and exposed shots. And then I get into the to post, and oh my gosh, all the things that I missed. So this was the one that I liked the best out of the lot. Probably a little on the light side, and but with f8, I got a decent depth of field, and with the 200 and the extension tube, lots of bokeh. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think the first thing would be like you can get into the technical aspects and find artifacts around, but the first thing, the impact is wonderful. It has a nice impact when you first see it.
I've spent too much time listening to judges in contests.
Yeah.
It's fairy-ish.
To me, it's the impact. How does it make me feel when I first look at it? And I think it really captures the eye.
I actually like that tighter crop, the way.
Yeah, you don't want to zoom too much on it.
Oh, check to see if it's square. I did this in
yeah, it's square.
It is, huh? Okay, so my square crop is accurate. So I don't know whether you're
on your camera or in Lightroom.
Lightroom.
Yeah, I did an 8x8 on mine, so it should be square. Mine should have been square.
Where
You know what? I like that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
That's cool.
Damn, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like the back wing. It looks, to me, it looks like it's silver.
Iridescent.
Ethereal.
All the little tiny hairs on that meat or whatever that is. It's beautiful.
The antenna.
A little like hairs around the wings.
Yeah, I like the vignette too.
That's armpit hair.
So a couple years ago, I went to the 75th and final NECCC conference, and went to all of the Scott Kelby talks and learned from him. I almost globally apply a small amount of vignetting. And if you set it in Lightroom, it's post crop. So it'll vignette, you crop it, the vignette will shift. I like that. Well, what I'm gunning for is being able to get close enough. I learned photography, photojournalism 45, 50 years ago, and the goal was to use the entire frame. So I'm still trying to remind myself that I have a lot more leeway in the new digital age, and can, still get usable shots cropped.
You did a good job.
Oh, I love that one cropped up closer. Dan,
Yeah.
that's gonna get framed. That's beautiful.
That is nice.
I think either one works. I think, leaving it with more negative space to get up and fly off into works.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of negative space. that empty space to just sort of leave things,
You can imagine.
yeah.
It leaves room for imagination.
That's 5 minutes.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you
That was
all.
very nice bokeh, by the way.
Yeah.
Well
Nice,
done.
dreamy
Beautiful.
colors.
Really
Nice
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Oh, and
All
Reed,
right.
notice you were talking about doing macro work and making sure that the film plane was parallel to the
Yeah.
subject. You notice that the top of the front wing is soft,
Yeah.
but down in the middle is sharp. So
Yep.
yeah, not parallel.
It looks great.
All right. Next up should be Bridget.
Ooh.
Oh,
So this,
Homemaker.
Making
this
it
was taken a
fast.
couple weeks ago behind Mom's house.
Yeah.
The original cropping was not square enough, so I had to redo it. And I had to do it with a 1-to-1, so it's not as close as I wanted it for y'all to see.
Awesome. Very nice.
Thank
That's
you.
pretty neat. Got him in action.
Yeah, they built the nest.
Yep.
I've never seen a bird with whiskers.
It's
That's
the
what
pepper.
That's pretty cool.
Pine needles.
Very sharp.
Wow, that is sharp.
I
it a
believe I was
bluebird?
using Mom's 400.
The bluebird.
She was using my 400 I got from you, Jim.
Ah, very nice.
Okay.
We share.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting at 400 at 1/100th is risky if you don't have stabilization. But it seems like it worked out.
Yeah, we were sitting down. So I was using the chair rest on the arms to help out.
Yeah.
It'll stabilize you.
That's sharp, though.
Yeah, the edges of the leaves look great.
And we have 4 babies from it.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
It's a little blown out in places.
Mm-hmm.
Would a vignette help that a bit, or you could also maybe
I would
put a
love to
linear
see
gradient, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if darkening behind the bird's a good idea. So Bridget, do you see what he just did? And made it all red like that?
So this is showing the areas that are clipping into being blown out. They're too overexposed. If you look at the histogram up here, you can see at the very end on the right side, it's spiked up. And usually there's not much you can do to fix that. But what that means is basically that it's too bright for there to be detail.
But
Yeah,
just taking it down that bit, though, you're just going to lose a little bit in his chest versus all that in the background before.
So in that situation where if you're taking the photos and you're seeing that you're getting blown out stuff, but you're not getting enough exposure, usually with RAW, you can expose for the highlights, and RAW will usually give you enough detail that you can still boost the shadows in post-processing to get that detail back. It takes some work, but
Yeah.
it's potentially can be fixed. But if you've blown it out, usually you can't recover it.
And honestly, like if there's not a ton that's blown out, so if there's things like you're like, well, I could go into Photoshop and circle that and have AI replace that. The things that you were like, I just can't live with that one leaf, you know.
Yeah, I was trying to play with the lighting and the color scheme for it before I sent it out, but it was not looking great at all. So that nothing was edited color wise. I just had to crop it.
I wonder if I can make this do some stuff. Don't mind me, I'm just fiddling.
Fiddle about, fiddle about.
Yeah, that's not working the way I hoped it would.
That works. The bird is looking
Yeah.
towards the center of the picture just enough to make that work.
Yep.
Mhm.
Big
Wow.
improvement.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
I wonder.
Got that bridge?
Yeah.
And that's 5 minutes.
Good job, Bridge.
Thank you.
Great job. Great.
I love it.
All right, next up should be Scott Thorpe.
Oh, Scott.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that came out kind of pixelated. I don't know why. It didn't look like that when I sent it off the sky, but I just haven't shot much in the past couple of months. And this is down at the Commons. And it was just a little blurb off in the side there. So I just cropped it down square. I thought about leaving the bottom on, but there's picnic tables and
This was Rochester
fence.
Commons?
Yep, that's the Rochester Commons.
Wow.
Looking back towards Dover, but it sort of messed up the sky. It doesn't actually look like that. But I just like the square with the diagonal, like is, negative space in the upper left.
The
Yeah.
flag is great.
Yeah, the flag really gives you the sense of the storm. With this flag plus the lightning, it's like I can feel it.
Yep.
I'm not really seeing any issues with the sky. It's a fairly good gradient. If you're seeing large pixelation, that probably just video encoding.
Yeah. Okay.
It
I
looks
see it
pretty
on my
good.
monitor, but
I love the lightning.
Is that myops? Usually myops for that?
nope. 30-second exposure. All my
Okay.
lightnings are always 30-second exposure.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't have got the flag flapping that much if you just had a quick exposure.
Correct. And at night, you wouldn't be able to do a quick exposure. It's got to be
Yeah.
that's why there's a little bit of blur in the thing, but all my lightning shots are always 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, because the trees are moving is the reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
I think it's beautiful.
Nice.
I just use the lightning as fill flash, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Wicked awesome.
thanks.
I mean, lightning shots are cool, but the thing you have going on with the flag, that's cool.
That's the hard part. It's sort of like when I shot the eclipse, everyone shot the eclipse as just a ball in the sky, without a element in front of it. It's the same with my lightning shots. I can't control where the lightning is, so I have to find something to put in front of it when I go out.
Yeah, context can be very important for that kind of stuff.
I don't know if I'd be out on lightning and that close to the metal pole, but personal choice.
Reed,
You've been in worse, huh?
you
Oh,
should
yeah.
see, you should see him at the Nubble out with the lightning with the umbrella.
Wait, I was gonna say, he
Ah.
had
TV,
a rubber with
TV.
him.
Yeah. I got
I
pictures.
dare you. I dare you.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
That is so cool.
If I go,
Look
I'm
at
going
that.
happy.
Look at that, Scott. It's even great in black and white.
But I think the color shows the definition of the flag.
The
Yeah.
flag, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
The purple
Flags are
sky
important
of the
element.
lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
that
like
one
that.
definitely has to be color. It's a great motion shot, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was windy,
You think?
but that's just a small bolt. That's way off. So if you saw the overall picture, because I took it with a 20 millimeter, I think, and you know, that's cropped in quite heavily.
What's the shutter speed?
30 seconds. I always do my night lightning shots at 30 seconds. So I always do 30 seconds and I build the aperture and the ISO around that for the overall scene so that it comes out.
All
And
right.
then
All right.
go off by one stop, make it a stop darker because 1 or 2 stops darker, because if the lightning is closer, it's like a flash. It illuminates so much more. So if you just go with what your base exposure is for the subject, whether it be downtown or a bridge or something like that, if you go with what it is, then when the lightning comes in, it just blows it out too much. So get your base exposure, go 2 stops under to make it darker and let the lightning fill it in. But always 30 seconds. That way there, if you have 2 or 3 strikes, you're going to get it in that 30-second time. If you don't get anything, take another one, take another one, take another one.
Look at the depth.
But the lightning always comes out sharp, even though it's 30 seconds, because
Yeah, it's an instantaneous flash.
correct.
The only odd thing I'm noticing is this patterning in the, and I'm pixel peeping here, but it seems like a weird patterning.
Yeah, it does some weird stuff a lot of times with the sky, the moisture in the sky. You know, there's different levels of rain and moisture between you and, you know, different atmospheric things. Because that lightning was probably over Dover or over Somersworth or something.
I think I'm seeing it here as well. Yeah, there seems to be a
Do you
diagonal
usually
patterning.
shoot-
It's interesting.
Scott, what do you usually shoot your ISO at?
Again, I try and there's probably, what is it, 100? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So-
always do 30 seconds when I set up, and I start at like F8 and just take a picture and then just work it around until I get the correct exposure around 30 seconds. And that's 5 minutes.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome picture.
Good job. Sue. Good job.
All right, next up should be, we already did Lisa. Next would be Mike Erickson.
Oh, Mikey.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, lupins.
Very cool. Mike, you on? I guess he's not.
Oh, he might be on mute. Oh,
I didn't see him in the list.
oh, okay.
He can be stealthy when he wants to be.
He's waiting to see what we say about him while he's not here.
Yeah.
So something that I'm noticing right off the bat, the brightness in this center, it looks like this has some strobe perhaps adding light to it, and the brightness behind the main flowers here is kind of distracting this stuff in the center behind it.
Looks more to me like bright sunlight with a strong vignette around it.
Yeah, it's a little odd. So it's a little distracting like that. I definitely like the subject here, although I'm guessing this was shot with a with an iPhone. So there's some things happening here. I'm guessing this has a portrait mode on. And the reason I say that is, there's definitely some bokeh going on, but there's some stuff going on with the edges, especially right here. That's kind of telltale of the computational photography. Because you can see, like over here, you can see this edge where the phone is deciding to separate the
Yeah.
subject from the background and applying the background blur. So that's something to be wary of when you're using those modes with your cell phones.
So you think that was
Um,
portrait mode?
I suspect so, but
Mm.
could be wrong. I'm not familiar with the iPhones and all the modes they have, but that's a common thing with just cell phone photography and computational photography that it uses. I think maybe this top edge could have been gotten rid of. A tree probably. Let's try a quick edit here.
Mhm.
And what happens if we pull this up just enough to cut that out and adjust our subjects a little bit here?
I like the leaves, the lupin leaves on the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like,
Yep.
I think what bothers me is that, you know, like you said, the light in the background is that I go in between those lupins. I think it would have been, just my opinion, you know, if maybe taking a picture of those 3 blue ones that are in, you know, pretty much full bloom by themselves, and then the single one. I don't know if that would have helped, but my eye just wants to go to that white.
Yep.
You
Yep,
know,
my
it's
eye
too
does.
much of a split. If they were closer, it'd be fine, but
And that just, it makes you shoot right up the rest of the picture to see the rest of the white.
yeah.
Let me mess with this real quick.
You're in too much fun, Ben.
Yeah, I'm driving. You'd get better, I think, results of this if you were doing it in RAW, but
There is no RAW on the iPhone.
I'm gonna say, I don't think they have that.
Not
Yes,
yet.
but yeah, there's just a little bit more balance there by pulling that exposure out of those super high in the back. A bit more refined editing would give you a better result, but that's just a preview of what you could potentially do with reducing the impact of that brightness back there.
Well, it makes me wonder if he took, you know, with the phone, if he took any pictures of just those 3 on my left, and, you know, a single, you know, and a picture of the one there, and then just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you take a picture and then you take individuals of the other stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of good potential in this
Yeah.
composition.
That's 5
Perhaps,
minutes.
yeah, perhaps just limited by the tool.
Yep.
Pretty awesome
And
though for a
Still pretty.
cell
Yeah, it is.
phone.
Yeah.
Still
If you're not familiar with it, there's, you know, the typical computational photography sort of detail that you see when you actually zoom in on stuff like this.
Yep.
Like even this is, you know, it looks fairly sharp, but when you get into it, it's a lot of this blotchiness. All right. That was Mike Erickson. And I believe that was our last
Pretty
one.
picture
Nope.
though.
Nope. Reed Cooper.
Cool.
Last but not least.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
so-
wow.
Oh.
Ooh.
Let's do something
Oh.
cool.
Like Ben, I took the square theme beyond just the cropping. And I took a shot of the lattice work around the bottom of our deck, which is what the squares are in the front. And then I went in and individually blacked out there's some stuff behind it down in the bottom, some tools I have under my deck, so I had to blank those out.
Mhm.
Then I took I had a picture of the Orion Nebula I'd taken a while back, And I did a multiply blend in Photoshop to lay that on top of the lattice. So that's what we have here.
It looks
That's
almost like the back of your head.
pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like the back of what?
Of your head, your background.
Oh, I see. I thought there was something going on in my bald spot in the back here. I wasn't aware.
Don't tell him. No, don't tell him.
Okay, thank you very
I
much.
wasn't quite following that logic either there, Reed.
The first thing I thought of when I saw this is this is the galaxy.
Yep.
Much it is. That's
Yep.
cool.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I
that's
could
the
call it
first-
galactic fence or something like that, but you know, Stargate or whatever, but it was just, I mean, like I said, I took this square theme and I thought I'd see if I could add squares into the shot as well as framing it square. So I looked at a bunch of things. I had a bunch of things that could fit into the square, but I just thought I'd do something a little different. So I was playing with this.
That's cool.
That's
It
cool.
makes me think of the original cover for Tommy by The Who.
Oh,
from, you know,
Tommy.
like
Oh, you're right.
1970.
Tommy, Tommy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So if you look at that for a couple seconds, it makes you think the Earth is round.
It's not?
Because it's the galaxy. You know, that was my first thought when I started. I'm like, oh my world.
I think I would have done your overlay a little bit so that you didn't have this bright spot down here. It's a bit distracting in the full size. Got a little masking going on there.
Yep, those are
Just
some of
minor
the little
nitpick
things
stuff.
I was cleaning up, but
Yeah.
What an awesome shot, Reed.
thank
Very
you.
cool. Every time I look at you, I'm gonna think of that behind your head.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's
Jealous.
just cool.
What was your focal length for the shot of the lattice work?
Oh, I think it was an F8. And no, actually, I had to push it up to like F16 to try to keep the lattice in focus further down. But then when
What
I
was
did
your
overlay
what was your
behind it, it took out a lot of blur anyway. So
yeah. What was your focal length?
I was probably shooting at trying to remember which lens I was using. It's probably 24 millimeter.
I think the curve of this probably lines up with that.
It looks like you spackled it.
Spackled it, yeah.
It's spackly.
Tie-dye.
Spackalicious.
Spackalicious. Glitter.
Yep, with some tie-dye in the middle.
Yep, yep.
Anyway, just something I threw together. Just
Jerry
I'm
Garcia.
not framing it or anything. I just playing with squares. So
It's fun, Rick. That's cool. Very creative.
That is.
Honk for Jerry.
Very cool.
I love it.
make you a good deal on it.
I'll take a screenshot of it. I'm running out of room.
Okay.
So Reed, just to reiterate, you cleaned out every one of those.
No, not everyone. The top was pretty much black, but this is around the bottom of my deck, and under my deck I use for storage. So what I did was there were some spots down in the bottom here, down in the bottom right-hand corner that still had I could see grass and things on the underside of my deck underneath it. So I just went and cloned some of the black from the upper boxes and laid it into the boxes in the bottom to knock it out. Ben just showed a section where I missed a couple pieces of little corners here and there, but I tried to just black out the squares.
It is a gateway to the black hole behind it.
There you go.
To go where someone dares to go.
This is why we don't have aliens, because we got a fence around our gap.
Right. It looks like something out of a Star Trek episode.
Yes,
There you
yes.
The Tholian web.
There
For all
you
of
go.
Any Star Trek geeks out there.
Yep.
That's 5 minutes.
Thank you very
That's
much.
awesome.
Ah,
Hey,
very nice.
Very, very cool.
Well
I heard that was
done.
the last photo. I did submit on Saturday, so I don't know where it went, but I sent it to the same email that went out.
Yeah, there were some that didn't make it over. Mine didn't make it over originally. I don't know if, is Monique still on?
I am still here, yep.
Do you have Kara's photo in there?
I'm looking right now. I'm seeing nothing, no inbox from Sarah.
Yeah, I sent it to, I got it right here, the GRC mailbox at gmail.com.
GRC, 2 C's?
So the only email I have from you is Facebook private request. That's it. That's all I see. Notification of payment.
I can resend it, but I just resent it. Yeah, I sent Saturday.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, when I'm pulling up, unless you have do you have maybe a different email app? I mean, when I'm typing in your name, I'm coming up with.
Oh, you said you sent it Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long ways back, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be busy these other days, so I didn't want to forget. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's not here.
What
If
was
you
it?
send it,
Well, you know what we could do? We could swap and have you share your screen. Do you have it there?
I do.
Do you know how to screen share?
Yep. Let me see.
you'll need to give them
Can I
permission.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
Allow window.
Yeah, just password control.
I don't know if you're seeing it.
Not quite yet.
Okay, I hit share screen. Where is it? Open a new window? Why is it asking me to open?
Yep, you want to do that.
Okay.
Did it give you
No, it's-
options?
So while she's
Yeah,
figuring that
well-
out, go ahead.
I think it's you, Ben.
Yeah, I think she froze. If you're gonna do masking,
There it goes.
There it
Okay.
goes.
if you're gonna do
yeah.
masking on your photos, you have to do it well because mistakes will be glaringly obvious.
Wow.
Are you seeing anything?
You can see it
Yes.
now.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I see the light.
Good workaround. Good workaround. Okay, so Kara,
Ooh.
explain your photo.
So I was out at Alice Bemis in Sandwich, actually, with another photographer looking for certain birds, and there
Kendra, no doubt.
there we're looking for the bittern that was making lots of noise, but the storms were rolling through, so we only had a brief moment before we were going to get soaked. But I did think I squared this up. I think I squared it up here in Lightroom, so hopefully it's pretty square. But I did darken up the sky a little bit, so it wasn't as prominent as that.
Very cool.
There's a lot going on.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I mean,
I love that stream of light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laser beam.
I was thinking
It
of
goes with your photos.
Scotty.
Star Wars.
Scotty.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
Yeah,
I did go in quite a bit.
very cool.
That is lovely.
That is.
Oh,
I like the mountains. You see the different layers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that place, but I find something to shoot about every 10th time I go there, though.
Yeah, it's definitely hit or miss. There was a certain, there was a bird we were trying to get, which, of course, went so fast across our path that we got the rear end of it. But yeah, and we just had such a short window before it started pouring on us. The bittern was more down by a barn, and you could hear him, but couldn't get him. Couldn't get any good
God
shots
was
at him.
shining a light on it to tell you where to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the
There are-
layers of the
Yes, the
mountain.
layers. Yes.
The
Yeah.
layers are really nice.
Yeah.
Mountains.
A lot of
Yeah,
depth.
that's one of my
Yep.
favorite things
Wow.
about the mountains up here.
But that light coming through, that is really nice.
That was your gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have some lupin shots, but not as they're kind of boring. All right, I can
Cool
understand.
shot, Kara.
Thanks.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Nice reflections in the
Yeah, very
clouds.
nice.
All right, I think did I cancel that?
You did.
Yes.
yeah,
And
Okay.
It was beautiful.
definitely worth showing. So thank
It's
you.
a hanger.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, haven't done anything with it yet.
Well, that is like part of the benefits of being on Zoom is that we can fix a problem really quickly like that and just jump in and have somebody else screen share. So thanks for being flexible on that. Ben, give him a round of applause. Nice job on your first
Yay, Ben!
posting.
Hey, Ben.
Way to go. A couple of little issues along the way. You did great. Why do I have no screen? Hey, there's a screen. Good job. Thank you very much. Awesome pictures tonight. I hope you left motivated to try something different and creative. I have a feeling that everyone's going to be dismantling some photos at their houses and using some frames outside. So thanks, Elaine. Otherwise, we will see people Friday for drop off for the images, or Saturday, either one, and then opening reception is the 5th. If you have any questions, please send an email, send us a Facebook message. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. If you have any questions?
I'm
We did it.
excited.
Ben, thank you for introducing me to another piece of software. I'm just beginning to feel comfortable with Lightroom, and now you've thrown this thing at me. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
So
Well,
let me just throw it out there. So there was a post on the group page last week, I think. If you've been paying attention, there's been some shady stuff with Adobe. The company's just been making some weird decisions and license issues. If you're looking to get away from Adobe, Darkroom is free. It can do a lot of the same stuff. It takes a little bit more to learn it, but it's free. You'll never have to pay for it. Affinity Photo is probably the next best thing to Photoshop as far as photo editing. And I think right now you can get a copy of it for like $35. It's very capable. It can do raw processing. It's effectively Photoshop. So if you want to do photo editing and you're looking for something cheaper than the Adobe products, look at it, the Affinity products. So that's what I use.
Do they
Ben,
have good tutorials on how to learn it?
Yeah, there's a lot of tutorials online.
And
Ben,
for
I
the
just
dark,
want to say the thing about Adobe with the terms of service is where that was brought up. If you stay up on top of that, that was really blown out. And if you look at the terms of service on any of your photo software, they're basically all saying the same thing. Adobe came back and said, this is what we meant by that. They're doing a better job of plain English. They're going to be coming out with a better one that's in more in plain English. But basically, they're not using any of their stuff for their AI. They're not using your personal stuff for their AI learning and all of that. If you go, Matt Kiskowski and Brian Matisse did a podcast that really explained it well and in depth. And then they also read all the terms of service of many of our other softwares that we're using, and they are 10 times worse.
Yeah. If the takeaway is if you care about licensing and privacy and things like that, it's important to pay attention to those terms of services that you agree to. Personally, the biggest reason to switch from Photoshop to Affinity is the price, but obviously use what you're comfortable with. Be aware of alternatives, because it's just in your own self-interest to be aware of these things. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah.
If you think about it, why don't you drop a link onto the Facebook page in case people want to learn more about it?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, does Darktable have denoise in it too?
Yes, it has a nice actual profile denoise feature where it has presets for a lot of established lenses. So lenses and cameras. So like when I bring it in, as I just turn on denoise and it automatically detects what profile it should use based on the ISO that it detects from the image. And you can obviously customize it from there.
Cool.
So perhaps another night I can set up an online walkthrough of using the software.
That would be cool.
Got a lot of nodding heads on that one.
Be a great little summer tutorial
Absolutely.
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if everybody is all set,
Wonderful photos, everyone.
it was
Thank
wonderful.
you all.
guys.
Excellent. Have a great evening, and we will see you soon.
That's
Bye.
Your friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.